everyone, I am MechaRandom42, and we have some more Star Trek Discovery news to talk about today. Oh no. So if you guys aren't unaware, there was a Star Trek convention that went on in the UK. There's gonna be a little bit more to that, so stay tuned. And we got a little bit of some news, some announcements. We got the new Klingon makeup reveal, which I do have a video about, and I will link in the description below. We also got this little bit of information. So apparently, the Star Trek Discovery cast promises that Star Trek is going to return to a familiar Trek tone ideals in season 2. Yeah, so are you guys admitting that Star Trek Discovery is not Star Trek? It doesn't feel like Star Trek, it doesn't act like Star Trek, it is nothing Trek. It is Trek in logo only, right? Oh, so let's go over to the article here. Now, this is from comicbook.com, and I will link this in the description below as well, this article. Star Trek Discovery cast promises to return to familiar Trek tone and ideals in Season 2. Longtime Star Trek fans can expect a more familiar tone in the coming second season of Star Trek Discovery on CBS All Access. Speaking at the Destination Star Trek Convention in Birmingham in the UK over the weekend, the Star Trek Discovery cast promised to return to the signature optimism of Gene Roddenberry's vision of the show in the upcoming in the sophomore outing. Oh yes, finally. Hopefully. I mean, it's not like they've ever lied before. They've never promised that, we'll never see the Enterprise, we'll never see Spock. It will totally line up with canon, so yeah, I mean, I'm not holding my breath on this one. The whole first season was about the effect of the mirror universe, thanks to Captain Lorca, said Anthony Rapp, who plays Lieutenant Paul Stamets via Trek movie. So it was really going through that to come out the other side, building up to Burnham's last speech, which was goddamn dreadful. Yeah, the speech that was the Admiral's speech that she interrupted. I saw that episode. She's basically there getting a speech or listening to an Admiral's speech, and she's in basically the audience, and she interrupts. Like a fucking know-it-all Mary Sue. It was building up out of the darkness to get toward where we are much more in familiar territory. Well, we're not now, but... So season 2 will absolutely follow in those footsteps, building up the Starfleet that we are more familiar with. The one that they built up in Enterprise, that they were, really starting to get the hang of, 80 years before this one took place? Give or take. It is unusual to ask Star Trek audiences to have such long storytelling because it's been much more episodic along the way, except for Deep Space Nine and the Dominion War. The episodic stuff versus the long story arcs is not the problem. The problem is the writing and the tone of the show and having a main character. You can't have a main character when you have hour-long dramas like that. We've asked that you all have faith that we do know what we're doing, and we're aware that what we're going to spend a year taking a left turn to get us back to the path that is more familiar. Oh Lord, we're aware. I gotta reread this line. I think I messed it up because I apologize. I am super sick and I'm on a lot of cold medicine. Hopefully my voice isn't too bad for you guys. We are aware that we're going to spend a year taking a left turn to get us back to the path that is more familiar. So okay, if you're gonna take a year. This means in season 2 it won't wrap up. This means by the end of season 2 we'll be back to where we should be in Star Trek, which is the TOS stuff, which we already have. I've got it on DVD. I can watch it on. Isn't it on Netflix? I can just watch it. I don't need you guys to go and redo TOS. Series-led Sonequa Martin-Green, who plays Commander Michael Burnham, also suggested that the familiar optimism is exactly what the Discovery crew is fighting for in the show's first season. The Discovery crew? We had a crew? I thought it was the Michael Burnham show starring Michael Burnham as Michael Burnham. It's not a... do we even know some of these bridge officers' names? I had to search and look through and dive through every episode to find out that the girl with the little piece of armor over her left eye is named Kayla. Her character's name is Kayla. We don't know what these others are named. We don't have a crew. We have Michael Burnham, and we have people that she can play off of. So she goes on to say, I think there's something to be said about the fight, she said. Because that is one of the things that was most beautiful about our show. and that all the other iterations of Star Trek, but definitely Discovery, not only do you see this future, but you see this fight it takes to get to it. Yeah, but we were already there. We were already there in Enterprise. So we regressed to be these hateful conflict mongers who let traitors like Harry Mudd go to their wives while they're instead of, putting him in a prison for trying to sell Discovery to the Klingons, trying to murder Discovery crew members. You didn't know which time loop would have been the last one, but I actually watched the show. A lot of people who support it and defend it really didn't. They were on their phones the entire time. Not to just get it, but to maintain it. So you see us take this left turn into darkness because we're at war, but you see us fight out of it. Oh no. Yes, but we've been at war in the Dominion War, and it was done so much better. You still had the hope and the optimistic humanity and deep plots and deep conflicts and deep personal choices. You just had some idiot making hot-headed decisions and getting a fucking medal for it because this is the generation we're in now. And getting her, not only getting her commission back, but, oh, nothing's wrong, I got my commission back, la 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 la, I only caused the death of, thousands and thousands of people. And, I brought back Space Hitler from the Mirror Universe, but oh well. But you see us fight it out. I think that is actually most hopeful of all. Oh, sweetie. She added that the darker tone is also particularly the result of CBS All Access series using the more serialized storytelling model that is common for streaming shows. Okay, you can have serialized story arcs and not be super dark. You can have, fucking turn on the lights and it won't look so dark. Deep Space Nine. Firefly was serialized pretty much. Stargate was serialized. Battlestar freaking Galactica. The Battlestar Galactica was more optimistic, the remake, than Discovery. You had an ensemble cast. You didn't just have one fucking character. One of our executive producers once said that he doesn't find this iteration to be darker. It's just that we remember what happened yesterday. Martin-Green said, well, one of your executive producers is probably Alex Kurtzman, who starts every sentence with the word and writes shit like the Short Bus Trek, where you have the woman who, oh, my planet is my twin sister, we were born at the same time, I worked in the mines, and I'm a princess, and let me go, bye. That's Alex Kurtzman. I wouldn't listen to a fucking word he says. I'm sorry. And we remember what happened yesterday. There's going to come the sorrow of loss and the mourning of loss. You might also have to have the philosophy to fight. Or you might also have the philosophy to fight. But we always strive to be Starfleet. And so you get to see that action, or that fight in action. I think that is something that can really be latched onto because it's not just a picture. You need to see an example of its actualization. And we did in Deep Space Nine in the Dominion Wars. We did with Picard and Locutus of Borg, and we saw a lot of this shit with First Contact. We've seen it in Star Trek already. Are you looking forward to Star Trek Discovery returning to the familiar optimism? Well, I I would love it. I would fucking love it. Oh my god, I would love it. It's not going to happen, but I would love it. You can lie to me so many times before I stop believing a word you say. And that's kind of that's kind of where we're at. They keep they promised, oh, it's going to match up to TOS, we promise. Oh, you guys are never going to see the Enterprise, we promise. And what happens at the end of season 1? Enterprise, money shot, great. And they also promised, oh, you're never going to see Spock. No, and Ethan Peck cast a Spock. So they keep it sounds like they're doing a lot of backpedaling because of all of the negative publicity and negative fan reception. TOS fans, TNG fans, Deep Space Nine fans, even Voyager fans are not super on board with this. You have 1 or 2 out of 100 who might be okay with it, but you know what? We're in the generation where we're on our phones watching stuff. It's really sad to say, but that's where we're at. And yeah, this is a photo. Okay, and hopefully, thank you so much, Working Class Klingon, your follower on Twitter, friend over there. Got to give you the shout out for this photo. He was at this Star Trek convention where they took the pictures here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the fan reception. Just a little bit here. So this is a lineup with meet and greets. You see Anthony Rapp here. He's right here. He's waiting patiently to sign autographs. And he seems like a decent enough guy. He's really interactive with the fans. I've gotten into it a few times with him on Twitter, but you know what? At the end of the day, I think I would love to talk to Anthony Rapp. I would love for him to come over on Midnight's Edge after dark and talk to us, or come to my channel. I really think he's actually one of the best actors on the show, and I really feel bad that the scripts they're given are shit. I really do. I think this is the girl who plays Kayla. I don't know. She doesn't have a sign behind her, and of course we have Wilson Cruz right here who plays Dr. Culber. Nobody's in line for any of these people, and who are they in line for? They're in line for Jeffrey Combs. He played Wayoon. He played Shran in Enterprise. He played Grand Nagus Brunt in Deep Space Nine. He is a staple of good Star Trek. He's played so many characters over the years. And of course he's famous in his own right for stuff like Reanimator and just being Jeffrey Combs. And I understand why he has a queue, but if you are at a Star Trek convention, Star Trek only, this... Nobody is signed up. Nobody's in line for Discovery actors. Discovery does not seem to be this thing that people care about. The only people really that I think are talking about it are people who are picking on it and hating on it, and people who want to warn people away from watching it. It's really sad that's. I mean, I don't know what time of day this was. How deep in. I mean, you can see there's a lot of people waiting in line for Jeffrey Combs. It's sad. It's really, really sad. I hate that we're in a day and age where I'm not excited for Star Trek and Discovery. Step up your game. If you could fix one thing, make it an ensemble cast. Switch out characters for different episodes. They should have made the Groundhog Day episode with Harry Mudd a Stamets episode. Michael Burnham should have been in one scene where he's trying to talk to her or something. She shouldn't have been the hero of the show. There's no reason she should have been the hero of the show. Especially when Stamets could tell what was going on. You have episodes you should have revolve around Tilly. You have episodes that should be all Saru episodes. None of this making Michael Burnham the main character. That's your first mistake. That's the biggest thing you guys need to change. Second, make the Klingons look right. You still didn't do that. Third, turn on the fucking lights. And then, you might have something, you might have something where people can at least forgive some of the bad writing. Fourth thing, hire good writers. Hire Star Trek writers. Hire people who know science fiction. Hire Star Trek fans to write this. And not just Discovery fans. Hire people who love TOS. Hire people who write for Star Trek Continues. Hire the Axanar people. Hire people who know how to tell a story in the Star Trek universe. Alright? That's what you need to do to fix this. We could probably just forgive Season 1 as being just an experiment in failure. Season 2 does not look any better. They've already filmed half of it. And we already know that Dr. Culber's coming back. That's why he's sitting there. We know that little... There was a little speck of spore dust or whatever that fell on Tilly when they blew up the mycelial network and came back and whatever. That little speck of blue or green or whatever color it was, that went inside of her, and that's going to be Dr. Culber coming from the other universe. And of course we saw in the trailer Stamets is going to use the little Ghostbuster device and suck it out of Tilly, probably. We know stuff's happening. And it's sad that you guys can't keep secrets and that you guys have all these leaks that, oh yeah, Dr. Culber's coming back and this and that. We know. Stop spoiling your own series. You guys are giving us way too much and you're still not giving us what we want. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I do apologize again for my voice being just shot. I am sick and I will be drinking lots of tea and vitamin drinks and stuff, but I really had to make this video because this one kind of got under my skin a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am MechaRandom42. I have Twitter, Patreon. I'm going to be doing some Patreon stuff hopefully soon this week, some more stuff. Thank you guys so much for being brand new patrons. And I will see you guys on the next live stream or video. Bye!